Do you know, I dread to think what those two will be like at the after-show party.
Silver fox after a few sherbets?
Oh,
Could be anybody's. You watch.
Now, let's get down to business and bring in the people who've rated, slated and baited our stars. Please welcome Nikki, Emma, Karen, Jason and Robin, our ice panel.
It's lovely to see you all for our last show. I'm sure you're delighted. But it's great to have you all here back for one last time. I think last week you were a divided panel again, split decision by the judges. I think that it's fair to say Jason and Emma went with performance. The skaters went with the skating ability, didn't they?
Yeah, well, I have to say, Robin, you definitely tend to go, you rate the skill rather than performance.
It's an ice skating show, you have to. You can't do it at the expense of a performance, and the performance has to be all-encompassing. It has to be a bit of everything. And I, more than anybody, I suppose, have loved Daniela since the word go. But last week, for me, even the performance went, there were things that were missing, and Gary upped his game in the skate-off. As much as we want to save whoever we think is the best person overall, we have to vote, as our brains say, what they do on that night in the skate-off. And for Nikki and Karen and I to come from where we have and not take the skating into consideration first would be a bit of a mockery for us.
So if it's all about skating ability, and I think it said Gary on this morning, he said Gary's head and shoulders above the other, does that mean he's going to win? He's got it
Not at all. We have no say this coming weekend. It's all about what the audiences at home feel they get from the performances that go out.
We put this theory to our online fans. 60% agree with you. They think technical ability is more important. But, Jason, you've been repeatedly saying this is dancing on ice, that it's all about the performance for you. But this is a skating show. It's
ice dancing on ice.
That's the thing. So you disagree, though, with Robin?
Well, I'm looking at something completely different. You know, with my background, it's dance and it's performance. So, yes, I never take into consideration the technical skating requirements, because that's not what I'm on the panel for.
I have to say, for once, this may shock you, I'm with Jason on this.
You are?
Well, yeah, because I think
you didn't have
sitting
any
at
technical
home...
ability, you did only have your performance.
You know, there's no need to be so nasty on my last show, Robin.
He's done now.
I knew you were the nasty one.
But so you're suggesting that our Olympians and our actual skaters don't know what they're talking about?
No, of course they know what they're talking about, but I think the general public...
I'm asking Colleen.
I think the general public sitting at home, and I'm one of them, obviously, you're right, I don't know technically, but I look at a performance and if it excites me, I go, oh, I really want them to stay in it. I don't think, oh, they've missed
We're there to inform as best we can with our own backgrounds, what they make of it, and they've completely ignored us on many occasions, even to the fact that we've had people in the final that we would never have put there. There's no saying what's going to happen on the Sunday night.
But the thing is, Karen, no one can predict the final, really, the outcome of the final, because obviously Hayley is the bookies' favourite, but who knows?
For an example, Chris Fountain, Suzanne Shaw. Chris virtually had the whole series until the final, and she stole it off him. So you can't predict it, and it can change literally in a heartbeat.
And in terms of the underdog, Nikki, I think it's probably Kieran at this point. Kieran's the one that seems to have gone on this extraordinary journey. Do you think he can steal it?
Well, I think one of the things to bear in mind here is the flying, because you get to do your best routine, and Kieran will probably do his punk routine, which was super, but then flying. Brianne's very strong, and she'll be on the ground, moving him. Maria and Gary's quite heavy. Maria on the ground. It's a different, harder dynamic for them, so that could make a difference. And Suzanne Shaw skated last. The fireworks went off. She was spinning around in the air. It was a sixth moment. Where you're placed as well can make a difference, so anything can happen.
OK, well, obviously, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens on Sunday. Emma, it's been coming to the end of your first series. You've settled in wonderfully. But the question is, what did you think of the ice panel before you'd started the series?
You're not. My prediction for the judge that I will bond with the most is going to be Karen Barber. But it could be Nikki Slater. Definitely not Jason Gardner.
Definitely not. Was he as bad as you thought he was going to be?
I love Jason. I've known him for too long now. He's gorgeous. It's been such a wonderful experience, and honestly, they've made me feel very welcome. I didn't feel like a newbie at all. It was, yeah, it's been brilliant. Really,
I think you've been a great addition to the panel as well. We've certainly enjoyed having you on there. Nikki's mentioned the flying, Karen. Obviously, it's what it all comes down to on Sunday. How have the guys been getting on? I think we've got some footage of Kieran to start with.
The beginning of the week, awful. I won't lie, awful. Once the novelty is worn off and it's quite fun, actually, the realistic thing is that it's painful. They can only do it so many times. Sickness plays a part for some of them. But by the end of the week, I literally feel as though we've turned the corner, and I'm hoping you're going to see some good flying routines. It's been a challenge for all of them. Gary's like a big kid. He loved it, but was very unpredictable.
Quite literally. Well, we're going to see a lot more of that a little bit later on. Guys, thank you very much for coming in. That's what the Ice Panel make of our finest chances. Don't forget, their marks will only be for your guidance come Sunday in the final. It's down to you. So to help you make your mind up who to vote for, we asked the stars who've already crashed out of the competition for who they'd be backing.